All right, now yesterday we did a video talking about the top 10 dumbass theories when it comes to this Idaho 4 case. Well, I got a comment in the comment section and it said, well, exactly who do you think did it then, JB? Well, today we're going to go ahead and dive into that. I'm JB Gunner, this is Crime Time. Today I'm going to give you my answer on who I think killed the Idaho 4. Let's do it. Son of a bitch, I forgot to put my headphones in. Fuck. I ain't editing shit. Forgot to put my headphones in. The shit was out loud, so it was a little bit, you probably heard it reverb through the thing. You suck my dick. I don't care. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about who it is I think killed the Idaho 4. Now, believe it or not, we actually did a top 10 suspects list before. And when I got to looking at it and thinking about it, I said, this is going to be a lot different because we did it, 2-3 months ago? Guys, before we get into this, I want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports the channel or any of my channels, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. With all that being said, if you too find value in my content, feel free to hit the links down below, support the channel. That way we can keep this thing going. Lord knows YouTube takes me down, suspends me all the fucking time. At least we've managed to dodge it here on the Crime Time channel. So we'll see how long that shit lasts. There's a lot of snowflakes out there. I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, while you're down there, also, if you're not one of those snowflakes, feel free to hit one of my other channels up, my news, my politics, my live stream channel, things like that. We will be live streaming here as well. Yes, I'm still sick. I don't know what the fuck's going on. My voice is still creepy and fucked up. But it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and continue. Yesterday's video was a banger. I'm going to tell you that now. Y'all seem to like it. Today's video, I don't know if you'll like it so much because we're going to get into some pretty controversial opinions. And when you hear who I think actually did it, it might shock some of you. But what made me think about this? This comment right here from MK said, who do you think did it? And I said, good question. In fact, you just gave me my video idea for the day. Spoiler, I don't think it's anyone that's been mentioned. Dun, dun, dun. We'll talk about that here in just a second. So I want to start off by saying who I don't think it is. Who I don't think it is. Let me take a look here. Number one, we all have had moments where we suspected the boyfriend, Jack D, right? I no longer believe, I believe the last time we did the video, Jack D was like my number one or number two. It was either Jack D or Jack Showalter. This time, I got to say, Jack D isn't even on the list. I got a top 4 that I'm going to give you. But I'm going to name you right now all the people who's not on the list. I don't think Jack D did it at all. I have a million reasons why that is. The one thing that kind of still sticks in my mind is the 10 calls late at night. But in my opinion, that's just Kaylee and Maddie looking for a booty call. I'm going to be honest, this motherfucker rings 10, 15, 20 times at 3 o'clock in the morning too. And a lot of times it's the same broad or same few broads. And to be perfectly honest, I know what it is that they want. So it is very possible that with Kaylee only being there for the night to do a party, she may have just wanted some fucking Jack D dick before she wanted some of Jack's D before she got down to Texas. That's the truth. That's what I honestly believe could be the possibility. Jack Showalter, which if many of you guys know, he's the hoodie guy from the food truck. I do not believe he's involved at all. I do find it weird that he went to Africa afterwards. I do find it weird that we haven't heard nothing from Jack Showalter. But I recall the videos, the surveillance videos of them walking down. What did you say to Adam? Shit like that. I have eliminated Jack Showalter. I for some reason, I'm eliminating all people that are close friends for the most part. So I do not believe it was Jack D. I do not believe it was Jack S. at all. A lot of you guys say, well, what about Adam? Adam, look, man, he's just a dude that worked at the bar. That's all it was a fucking bartender. Well, what did you say to Adam? Listen, probably something about Jack D. Probably something in reference to, her leaving and things of that nature, which a lot of times that gave reason to suspect Jack D. In case you don't know, Adam and Jack D was very, very close. But I do not believe Adam was the killer. There's no evidence I just want to make this clear. There's no actual evidence pointing towards any of these people I'm saying didn't do it. It's all speculation, right? I do not believe that the neighbor, the neighbor that was doing all the interviews and smiling and creepy and just kind of you didn't like the way he sounded. I do not believe that dude did it at all. There's no reason, there's no evidence at all pointing to the neighbor. I do not believe it was Enon Harsh. Enon Harsh, I'm telling you, a lot of you guys are stuck on Enon Harsh, and every single time I ask you why. Why do you think it's Enon Harsh, and not a single one of you can give me any kind of source, any kind of reason, anything that you believe, any evidence, anything that even would make you believe it's Enon Harsh? Just for some reason, you personally think Enon Harsh is a weirdo. I didn't say he wasn't. I told you guys in yesterday's video that I think he's kind of a hippie motherfucker, and I just don't believe that he's the killer. There's nothing saying these. There's no reason to think he's the killer. There's not a single piece of evidence that points to Enon Harsh and says, yeah, that's him. Or even there's not even any suspicious circumstantial evidence. Chief Rye did not do this. Come on, man. It's a weird reason for you to even think he's the guy. Okay, it's weird for you even to say he's the guy. Clearly, he was emotional in a lot of the press conferences, a lot of the interviews. Chief Rye's not the guy. Who else? Revenge for bullying. A lot of you guys bring up the young lady that I guess used to live with Maddie or one of the girls, and I forgot her name, but she committed suicide. And a lot of you are like, well, how do you know that the people didn't get revenge for her? I don't believe that's the case at all. Because her father, her father's been outspoken. My goddamn dog. Father's been outspoken about all of this. Everybody. There's no reason to even believe that this was some sort of revenge for some sort of bullying tactic. There's no evidence pointing to it whatsoever. All you did was look up the town of Moscow. All you did was look up the people in this region and in the school, and you just picked a name out of a hat. And said, this has got to be the reason. We think Maddie and Kaylee bullied this girl. Where's the evidence? Where is any of the evidence? Where are any of the quotes from anybody in their lives? Where is any evidence whatsoever that this was somehow revenge killing for some fat chick that overdosed? Just saying. Another thing you guys have said is it could be one of the parents. It could have been the dope fiend, something to do with the Kernoodle dope fiend, or something to do. A lot of you guys even accuse Kaylee's dad because he was so aggressive. Anybody would be aggressive if their daughter was brutally murdered. That's the truth. That's the facts. I do not believe it was Kaylee's dad or anybody's parents whatsoever. Of course, then we got El Chapo and the cartel. Not a chance. Not a chance the El Chapo or the cartel would want anything that has anything to do with these fucking nobodies up in Moscow, Idaho. And I know that freaks you out. You're like, no, listen, man, these are just nobody college kids, little punk kids. To truly believe that the cartel is up here, first of all, you would have to believe that there's a lot of dope being moved here. And clearly it's not. Cartel hits aren't hits like this. And a lot of you are like, but what about Xana's mom? She's just a random run-of-the-mill dope fiend that'll suck your dick for a little bump. Stop it. Then your dick will have a little bump. That's the truth. Don't get head from dope fiends, ever. Now, there is somebody on this list of didn't do's that I have to mention with a caveat, because I do got a question mark next to it, and it is the frat boys. The frat boys, I still believe, could be a possibility. I'm going to put them on the did not do list, but there's a question mark there because it could be some sort of fraternity ritual hazing type shit that turned ugly. It very well could be that. I'm not saying it is, but that makes more sense than everything else that's on this didn't do list, right? So I'm not going to completely eliminate the frat. I'm about to go eliminate this goddamn dog, though. Give me a second. But I'm not going to eliminate the frat, but I do have them on my did not do list. I don't know why they've made it off the main list, but to me, there's no evidence at all pointing to the fraternity or frat guys. Let me know what you think about that. Now, let's get into the 4 people that I think it could be, including my one that I think it is. Now, hopefully I got that fucking dog situated. It is what it is. I tell you, man. Dogs and women and kids. They don't ever let you work. They just like, they don't care. But yet you still got to provide for them and put food in their mouth. Just dumb people. Just dogs, women, and kids. Just dumb fucking people. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So we went through the people that I think did not kill the Idaho 4. Now let's look at the top 4 of people I think is a possibility. Now, these 4 are people that I think there are at least some evidence to show did it. In some ways. We're going to start off with the number 4 on the list. Kaylee's stalker. Kaylee's stalker, I don't know if you've heard, but after Jack D, and during the 2 weeks, Kaylee apparently, reportedly, went on a date with a very, very disrespectful dude that was calling her bitch and all kinds of shit, right? This was just days prior to the murders. Now, even, you know this so much because there's people that believe that it was possibly Bryan Kohberger she went on that date with, which is really weird because so many of you believe Bryan Kohberger's an incel and can't get any pussy. I'm sorry, Kaylee's a fine bitch. If you got Kaylee, listen, my take on this is simple. If I can get you to the plate, I can get you to the snake. You understand what I'm saying? That's really the way this shit works. Well, it better work, because if I'm buying you a plate, bitch, you go, you know the deal. It's just the way that life works. You ain't getting no damn free meals out of me, period. But anyway, my take on this is that she went out with somebody, and this person may even have been the stalker. Maybe this is the rumors about the stalker. That she went out with this dude. It's been reported that they didn't necessarily get along. He called her bitch, shit like this. And then ultimately, is it possible this person was offended by whatever it is that Kaylee said? Because I want you to think about something. How many women, now I call bitches bitches all the time, but let's be real about something. How many women have you ever been with, you went out with, that made you so mad on the first date before you was even able to get any pussy, you called her a bitch? I can't remember one first date ever in my life where I looked at a bitch and said, you stupid bitch. I may have thought it, it may have been internal, but it's a dumb move. Why would I fuck up my chance of getting pussy by at least on day one by calling her a bitch? So what happened here, something had to have happened that was big. Maybe he took her out to dinner and maybe she didn't put out. And maybe, just maybe, that dude became a stalker. Maybe, just maybe, that dude felt like he was owed some shit. Now, you may say to yourself, you may say to me, JB, but he didn't sexually assault her. And sometimes it's not about your raggedy ass pussy. Sometimes we just don't like to be disrespected or used. It ain't about your little raggedy ass pussy that everybody else has had. I would never harm another human over your fucking pussy that looks like an Arby's roast beef sandwich with fucking horsey sauce dripping out. Your pussy ain't special. You can only make me come once. Not every dick can make you come. I'm the fucking prize here. That's the truth. But anyways, in this particular scenario, the way I see it is, it's a real possibility that Kaylee's stalker, whoever that was, or that person she went on a date with, whoever that was, could have been the guy. Now, it's really low on my list, but it's still a possibility. Is that who I think did it? No. Number 3 on the list, and this is who I do not think did it. Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger, there is a lot of evidence, circumstantial evidence, that makes him a key possibility. This is why he's on my list of possible killers. Bryan Kohberger, I'd be a liar to tell you that some of the evidence didn't look good. If he truly has their ID, then I think he did it. But right now, currently, there's not enough evidence presented to me to believe he did it. But the reality of this is he could have done it. Do I think he did it? It's possible. There's a reason that they arrested Bryan Kohberger. There might be a lot of evidence pointing to Bryan Kohberger. Now, it may be circumstantial. I may not necessarily believe it's enough to convict him. And see, that's where things go wrong. I've been telling you guys for a long time, I don't think they have enough evidence to convict Bryan Kohberger. I'm not saying I don't think Bryan Kohberger did it. I'm saying there's not enough evidence to convict him. But if I have to pick one person, Bryan Kohberger is not the person I'm going to pick. Brian Kohlberger, I believe if he did it at all, I think it's very possible he did it with a helper. I believe it's very possible that someone answered his survey. I believe it's very possible Brian Kohlberger was the mastermind and or driving thought process behind all of this. I believe the dude, Brick Kopaka, whatever the fuck his name is very possibly the dude that did this, and Brian Kohlberger was very possibly his mentor, the reason he did it. I definitely think it's possible. But at this moment in time, as much as I think that they do have something on Kohlberger, and I'm probably going to eat my words for this later, Brian Kohlberger is not the man that I think killed these women at all. But he is a possible, and he's on the list. Now, for a lot of you guys, you may be like, this may be where you stop watching the video, because you may truly believe Brian Kohlberger did it. I say, show me some evidence. It can't be, the touch DNA is it's not a proven science when you're talking about ancestral DNA, shit like that. It's not proven. It's not 100%. Touch DNA itself isn't even 100% necessarily. The ID, we have no clue whose that ID was. If it was a victim, it is possible. Now, the thing with Brian Kohlberger is I think that if he is connected at all, it's through Dylan Mortensen. I believe Brian Kohlberger and Dylan Mortensen know each other. I believe maybe even romantically. So it is possible it's Brian Kohlberger because Dylan Mortensen was left alive. So that's what I got to say about Kohlberger. I just don't think there's enough evidence. I don't take him as the type of guy that did it. I understand you think he looks creepy, but I think there's a bigger possibility. The number 2 possibility, which is a possibility that I think is very high on the list, is that it's none of these people. It's no one that's ever been mentioned. It's nobody that even knows these people. The number 2 possibility, which could be the best possibility, is that it legitimately is a serial killer. That's why we don't have any other options but Brian Kohlberger. Everybody's talking about all the evidence and everything that was left. What if there was no evidence left? What if there was an actual serial killer that came in here and slaughtered these 4 people? It fits a serial killer's MO. Well, think about it. 4 people. We've all sat here and said to ourselves, there's no way a virgin can kill 4 people in his first kill. You're right. That doesn't mean Brian Kohlberger's a serial killer, though. But the person that killed these people could easily be a serial killer. Upgrade is somebody that sponsors the channel and all this. He believes it's a slasher. He believes it's a serial killer. And I think it's definitely possible. Look at the brutality. The dude went in there dressed in all black, mask on his face. That's what Dylan Mortensen said. It is very possible that dude went in there and was a complete serial killer, and that's also very possible why he didn't kill Dylan Mortensen. He didn't feel he needed to. He already did what he had to do, what he wanted to do. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not. Maybe he didn't see her. Maybe he didn't even go out the back door. Maybe he went out the front. Everybody's talking about the killer who slid out the back door. Maybe he slid out the front. None of us really know. But I believe, more than I would believe it's Brian Kohlberger, I believe a serial killer fits the description of this crime. So if I had to pick between Brian Kohlberger and a serial killer, I'm picking a serial killer. That's my honest opinion, because this is too brutal. And this is too brutal, and it's too random. But I have one. You asked me who I think did this. So drum roll, I'm about to tell you who I think the killer is. And I think I have great reason for thinking so. Now, there's rumors going around that the DoorDash driver was a woman. I'm not buying that. I don't buy anything you people on the internet say. I believe the DoorDash driver is the killer of these women. You cannot tell me that it's a coincidence. So I want you to understand, if I was driving DoorDash and I went to this house and then all of a sudden 4 people was killed, 4 people was brutally murdered, 4 people were slaughtered. You're telling me being at the house at the exact same time wouldn't make me the number 1 suspect? Even if the DoorDash driver was a chick, you don't know if she had somebody with her. In my honest opinion, and this ain't the same thing as Crime Circus, as that motherfucker, Dripper Dropper, or whatever the fuck, because he believes Kohlberger was the DoorDash driver. I disagree. But I do believe it's very, very possible that the DoorDash driver or someone in the car with the DoorDash driver was the killer. The only possibility that I think it couldn't be is if a serial killer was watching, noticed the DoorDash driver was there, and then slid in through the door. But in my honest opinion, I'm just using process of elimination. There's only one person confirmed to be at that house at 4 p.m. 4 a.m. There's only one person. That person is the DoorDash driver. I want you to think also about the Elantra that they said that they saw. Number one, they said 2013, some shit like that. 2011. Remember how they said the Elantra was caught on footage looking like it was trying to find a place to park? Doesn't that sound a lot like what a DoorDash driver would do? Moving in and out and pulling back. I don't find it a coincidence that the DoorDash driver, how many people get DoorDash deliveries at 4 a.m. on the dot? And it happens to be the exact same time this Elantra was saw, and it happens to be the exact same time that the killing started. To me, it's circumstantial evidence, true. To me, the most likely scenario is someone connected to that DoorDash driver. Either the driver itself or someone in the car with the driver. They're at the scene at the time of the murders. How the fuck are we not talking about the people that was at the scene at the time of the murders? So you ask me who I think did it. The answer is the DoorDash driver, or if it was a female, the DoorDash driver's man, maybe in the car. That's the answer. I think the DoorDash driver is the key to solving this case. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, but don't you think the police already thought about that? This, and this. Yeah, I do. But I'm not going to sit here and ignore the fact that there's only one person confirmed to be at that house that did not live at that house. And that's the DoorDash driver. So my final answer right now until the court case or until something else pops up is, to me, either a serial killer or the DoorDash driver. I'm going with the DoorDash driver because that's who's been placed there at the exact same time as the murders. I don't believe in coincidences like that at all. But most importantly, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about my list? Who do you think did it? If it's Kohlberger, just write Kohlberger. That's fine. Do you agree with my logic behind some of the things that I'm saying? You guys enjoyed yesterday's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like what I do and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel today. I love you guys. You guys are awesome people. Hopefully this video made you think a little bit. I just giving you my opinion. You wanted to know who I thought did it? The DoorDash driver. I've been wrong before though, so maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll find out. Let me know who you think did it. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. See you tomorrow. I'm out.